But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon.
And welcome back to another episode in Bamboozler Plays, Kerbal Space Program. And today you are joining us in episode 5. And just to recap last episode, what we learned was that we can basically just shoot to the moon blindly and we don't need maneuver nodes. No, that is not what we learned. We learned that it's pretty essential actually to get maneuver nodes. And we learned how to get it, except we didn't get it before we actually went. But we did manage to fly to the Mun. We went into high orbit, we went into lower orbit, and we also managed to return safely, which netted us 441.4 science, or somewhere thereabouts. I don't know how much science we had before we left, but I know it wasn't a lot, which was good. But we're also at that point the BSP, the Budget Space Program. But now that we've actually gone to the Mun and achieved a bunch of milestones, and I guess all the sponsorship for Kerbal Snickers and that kind of, whatever their version of Snickers is in Kerbal Space Program, sponsored us with a lot of money, Spaceos, I should say, which now allows us to be called the KSP, the Kerbal Space Program. And it will also allow us to upgrade some of the buildings, which will then allow us to do more things like EVA in space, eventually plant a flag because we can EVA in space. But more importantly, I think it's the maneuver nodes, and I think that's where we're going to get started first. And based on my Google research is from previous episode, is that we need to upgrade the mission control and the tracking station, of which this costs 75,000 Spaceos, which is plenty of money that we have, and this one being 150,000 Spaceos, which is a lot of money, which is us with about 141,000. And for us to do any kind of EVAs and planting flags, as it says here, we want to upgrade the astronaut complex, which obviously we are now going to do, which is basically going to revert us back from a KSP back to a BSP, a Budget Space Program, because that is basically exactly where we are now with 66,000 Spaceos. Which, yeah, is going to be super, super interesting. Now, we're just going to visit the astronaut complex, because I'm wondering if we can actually we can purchase different kinds of Kerbals. I guess no, we can have a max of 12, which was before probably like 8 or something like that. But because we're a budget, we're going to work Jebediah and Valentino overtime. And perhaps at some point, Bill and Bob are also going to be called upon to do some work for our BSP, our Budget Space Program. But that being said, upgraded those 3 buildings. It's going to give us some nice maneuver nodes up in space. But before we actually do anything, we're going to have to spend some of this science. And my thinking is, if we go to the tracking station itself, my thinking is this, right? So we've flown to the Mun, and it was a pretty big success, I would like to say. What's going on here? Oh yeah, that's the trajectory of us with the sun. Okay, you can see how big space is, right? We've only really gone here. But it is a lot bigger if you think about it. OMG, look at that. We can go all the way to Ilo, which is pretty far away. But we're not there yet. We're not even there close, because all we've actually done is we've flown to the Mun. And what we've learned from that as well is that it expended quite a bit of fuel to get there. I didn't calculate it very well. I do think we had plenty of fuel to get back to, but I don't think that we had enough fuel to actually land on the Mun and come back. On top of that, we didn't bring any landing pads. We didn't bring any ladders for us to actually climb down. I mean, not that we could have EVA'd. That's probably the reason. Well, that was actually the reason why we didn't decide to do the landing. We would just do the flyby. So I don't think we're quite at that stage yet, but we need to start thinking about that as our main goal. And my thought process behind that is that maybe we can use Mimnus as a practice way of actually going a little bit further, which is going to expend a little bit more fuel to actually get to this place. On top of that, what we also learned about Mimnus in the last episode is that it's on a different plane, so it's going to allow us to work around with the maneuver nodes, which is going to make us more skillful with that. And on top of that, I know that Mimnus is a lot smaller in terms of a planetary body than the Mun is. Which means that the gravitational force is going to be less, meaning that the landing and the whole entire slowing down the craft to get it to actually land on Mimus is going to be probably a lot easier. And I'm thinking we're going to learn quite a bit from going to Mimus first before we actually try to plant a flag on the Mun. So that's my thinking. And that's kind of where we're going to go with this episode, where the science that we're going to spend is really with that in mind, that we need to start thinking, okay, we want to land on the Mun, so we're probably going to want to have landing struts, right? And we probably want to have larger parachutes, I don't know, or we want to have a landing gear so that we can roll around on the Mun. I don't know, but we need to think about that. So our original thought was, because last time we got the fuel systems, we got a bunch of these massive tanks that really don't have an engine that can fit them. And I'm thinking if we can get those rockets, because we already upgraded our launch pad and our VAV, that we should definitely get the rockets that are that kind of work with these ones. And I believe that's heavy rocketry, where we get these like the skipper engine and the Bobcat, and we get like another kickback fuel booster, and we have another fuel booster, and we just have more power. So this is a no-brainer for me. I think this is definitely something that we want. Just 90 science, which is good. I think the other thing that we also want is some of the more miniaturized propulsion system. Specifically from like 10 years ago when I played this game, I remember using this tank quite a bit as like, you know, my little spaceship that I kind of use to make it as compact as possible. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to make long ships that need to land somewhere, because then there's the, you know, dare I say, the possibility that something might tip over. So I'm going to do that for stability, and also so that we can kind of work with a bit smaller type vessels in space. And I believe some of these are even monopropellant tanks. I think this one as well, the Baguette, which is going to allow us to use some more RCS, right? And that's going to give us a lot more control in space, which will then eventually also allow us to do some more docking, which is going to make a lot of things a lot easier or more difficult. I should probably preface that. A bit more difficult to actually go to those spaces, but I think that's definitely a no-brainer. Which then makes us think, right? We've got 261 left, and we could go big and try to go for these things. But I honestly think that these advanced fuel systems, that we're not going to be, you know, as much as it'd be nice to get these two fuel tanks, the rest, I mean, it's asking for a lot, right? So I'm thinking maybe we can skip over those now. And let's just check our construction, right? We've got an adapter, which I think will be really helpful, because now we've got these big tanks. So I think this is definitely a no-brainer. Like, what we don't want to do is basically just go on one side of the science tree and just be like, yeah, we made it to the end of heavy rocketry. And then it's like half the stuff we can't even use because we're missing an adapter, for example, right? If that is their correct adapter size. I don't know, but we'll find out. 216 science left. I think advanced construction gives us a lot of nice stuff. So radial decouplers, the thing that popped off on my mind. A nose cone, which is nice. More nose cones. An airstream protective shell. That looks like this is also a protective shell. I think that would be kind of cool. Don't know what a hinge does. Oh, wait, I do know what a hinge does, because we have hinges on the door. Wonder how we're going to use that. Could do some interesting things with that. Yeah. My initial thought on using hinges is on using it to dock stuff on, where we can like maneuver it in like this. But I don't even think we're close to that yet. But that's definitely something to keep in mind. Some nice stuff here, which is going to skip over. That this aerodynamics is definitely related to this one. So once we get this one, we should also get that one. And when it talks about flight control, I do like this inline flight wheel, because we have had some difficulties already with control, and especially with these rockets that are going to become bigger and heavier. I don't think we can rely purely on our SAS and our good intention of Jebediah to get us into the right angle to escape Kerbin. So I think this is also a no-brainer, which leaves us with 171. And I need to start thinking like science, and I think this is these this is weird. It feels like this is the backside of a solar panel. See if there's anything else that resembles solar panel. That looks like a solar panel. This looks like a solar panel. So I think this is the backside of a solar panel, and I do think. Oh, what's this? Unmanned control technology small unit. Okay, so this way that will give us an ability to do satellites, which I think will be something we'll do down the road. So let's just skip over that for a second. This miniaturization stuff, I know we've done the miniaturization with the rocket fuels, but we're going to put that on larger things, so let's skip over that one for a while. Space exploration, a storage container. What does that do? Crew capacity 4. Whoa, we could actually go as a whole group. We could do a group project on Mimus if we wanted to use this, but might be interesting. Is there anything like science? Oh, yeah, RCS stuff. We want that. Ooh, an MK2 pod. Ooh, more monopropellant stuff. And an MK lat. Look at that. Oh, there's only one capacity. Is there more capacity? There's 2 capacity in this one. So... And a mech jab features maneuver and translatron sounds good. Sounds good. And an advanced inline stabilizer. That also sounds good, whatever that does. So let's take that. That's a no-brainer. And that leaves us with 81, which really just kind of, you know, puts us in a little situation where, okay, we could in theory just get aviation and just get that done and dusted with, but we're not going to do that. We're going to be smart about that, because when I look a little bit further, we got some pretty cool. Look at this, a Lunar Excursion module. What is that? I've never seen that one before. That was not in the game that I played, what was it, 10 years ago. Crew capacity 2. There's some good stuff here, and we're not that far away, and considering going to Mimbus, we're gonna haul in quite a bit of science. And I'm thinking also, like, we don't wanna, I mean, are there any more, like, science, like, experimental things that we can, is that, like, really far away? What is this? Communitron? What is a magmometer boom? Experimental engineering group. Seismic accelerator. Okay. Are these science experiments? I don't. Like, I'm trying to think. Like, there's got to be more. Like, is this like another mystery? No, that's that's not a mystery group. That's a monopropellant tank. So that won't be any science. So I need to think about that as well, right? Because we only have a few science experiments. Like, this is an experiment control station. So I'm assuming that this is going to give us some form of science. So we want to save some of our science, basically, to 81 for stuff like this. It's going to give us more science, which will then allow us to progress through the tree. So I think we're good here. I think we spent plenty of time there. I think the next thing that we want to be doing is... Oh, look at that. We have a... What do we have active? We have nothing active. So that means we completed the last mission. That's amazing. So we should definitely do this one, because we're going to be doing this regardless, right? We're going to try and at least approach this. And then I think the next... course of mission-wise is going to be to land on the Mun, right? So there's no advance for this, so we're just going to leave this one in our pocket, because what happens if because we are kind of still in a budget kind of situation, we might want to have a mission that sort of helps us boost a bit of spaceos. Like, for example, not that this would give us a lot of spaceos, but as an example, if we were to use this one to land the Thud liquid engine on Kerbin, and we just go blip, boop, and land, it'll give us a little bit of extra spaceos, right? So let's leave it open for now. Although, you know what? I mean, this is ultimately what we want to be doing, and I believe that we get spaceos also for milestones. And if we do end up going to Mimbus, it would be a milestone in itself. That's going to generate a ton of money anyways. Let's be smart. Let's be smart. We were smart with the science. Let's be smart with the contracts as well. And let's go build our spaceship. And I believe I'm going to take a little sip of water. That is fresh and that is tasty. All right. Let's see. What number of Mimbus are we on now? We are on Mimbus 3. Okay. So that's what we're going to call this ship, this spaceship, Mimbus. Do we call it Mimbus? Yeah, Mimbus 3. Cool. And it's going to be a lander, and I do like this, just by the looks of things, because I think you could put like legs on the side. We're going to have to think about, what's the crew capacity? Crew is 1. I'd like to bring more crew. How big is this? Whoa, that's not that big. Put it on the bottom. not that big. How heavy is this? That is 1.3 ton. How much is the... Oh, it's like... Oh, well, obviously, because it's the MK2 pod. Do I want to put a... Because I think we can put... Crew capacity 3 on this one. I can break... Now we could do a group project. Hey! How heavy is this one? 1.9. Do we want to go, like, do a group project and go all the way to Mimas in this, and basically bring everyone along, right? Because there's 3 empty seats. We can go Bill, Bob, and Valentina, meaning that the kids, Valentina's and Jebediah's kids, they're going to be staying at their aunt and uncle. Because their parents will be gone. Let's experiment with this. I mean, I say, you know, why would we not want to do this? Or do we want to bring, how many is this one? This is 1.3 tons and crew capacity is 2 and this one's 1. What I do know from this one is basically, from I think our first episode, is basically just a trap because it doesn't have doors, it doesn't open, but I'm pretty sure that this is a door that opens. It looks like, it's like, warning, there is a, you know, a hatch that will open. All right, let's try and start with this. And then we're basically going to build our lander. So we're going to need some legs, which are these ones. These are big legs. And we're going to place them like in a snap kind of way, as low as we can on these things. So that we're creating some separation space. So nice that we got those. I thought we had bigger landing, did I not think? Oh, maybe I didn't pick that one. That's okay. That's okay. We've got these landers. And then what we also want is we want to have... It's going to have to cover the flag though, which I don't like. But we don't really have a choice. We're going to need our little tanks. Now what we could do is we could go with these ones. And we can go RCS style. Or my thinking is go with these ones, but can I just place these like, yeah, we do want to get rid of them because this is also going to be the return module. So if we go like this, it's not a lot of fuel, but this would basically be our, if I just build it up a little bit, oh, that's not what we want, like this. Make sure that it doesn't touch the ground, and then we got, do we have an engine for this? Because is it going to be this one? It's really small. What's this? That's too big. I think this is not the engine that we want, because I think that's an engine for... We want these ones? Hey, these look pretty cool. These look very spacey, right? And aerodynamic. We could go like... we could go like this. No, I don't think that's a good idea. I thought that we would have this. So this is a liquid fuel engine. It has a thrust of 0.5 kN, or in a vacuum 2 kN. What does the Terrier have? Because that can kind of give us a, wow, the Terrier is a lot more powerful. So we don't really have an engine to use these ones on. What were those ones that I just saw here? Well, that's really powerful. So that basically would just be like 2-3 thrusts and then it's out of juice. Okay. And it's kind of heavy. Okay, let's save this and let's see if we do. Oh no, we don't, because we need 90 science, right, for that miniaturization, and we want to bring science with us as well. So you know what? We're gonna go like this. Because we need to bring science with us. So let's bring what we can do. I'm thinking a little bit different now. We can put fuel like this. And then obviously what we want is we want to get 3 of these guys. Because again, we want 4 of them this time, because we want to be able to step out. Do we want 4? No, we've got deep space already. So basically we want high orbit, low orbit, and landing on the moon. So we need 3 science bays. So if we go like this, since they can't since they can't, yeah, let's do it like, let's make sure that it's kind of done right. But that would mean that they would return as well. So we want to have a radio decoupler. We want to have 3. We want to line them up like so. And then we want to get some Science Juniors. Line them up properly. Let's see if they're on. Yeah, they're attached proper. They're kind of weird. Why they're not? Oh, that's because the radio decouplers aren't on properly, like this. Yes. So now we're a bit more, at least in my mind, symmetric. Then what we can do is, we've got a fuel tank here. That could be like our main fuel tank, and then we could get. No, we're gonna need the small ones as well, but we can use the fuel lines. What are these drain valves? I have to figure out what that does at some point, but I'll do that offline. All right, let's think. We need these ones. So we're gonna get 3 of those, and then we could put 3 Terriers on those, which is gonna be more than enough. I just wonder if, I mean, we're gonna be in space, but I wonder if these legs are gonna hold up with all this weight that we're bringing with us, because they're kind of skinny. Does it tell you how much weight it can hold? Tolerance. So the mass is that. The tolerance is 10 meters per second. Max temperature, it doesn't really say. So let's just go with the idea that it will hold. Yeah. It looks a bit... Yeah, we do want a group project, so let's go. All right, now we are going to get some aerodynamic stuff. We're going to give these proper things, and then we're just going to add all of the other science experiments one by one as well, just like how we did it when we went to the Mun. Although this time, no, let's do it the same way. Let's not change our approach. That wouldn't be very smart. I was thinking we could just place it here in the middle, and then we don't know which one's what. So again, one's going to go to high orbit, one's going to go to low orbit, and the other one is, at least the idea behind the other one is that, you know, if we're able to land, then we're going to land and get some science from that as well. So let's bring some temperatures, see if there's any temperature misalignment on Mimus. See if it has any atmosphere or even alien life. Who knows? We might find things that we never figured out before. So we probably don't need these anymore. No, we don't need these anymore, because now we've got basically the engines that fire, these ones release, and oh, hang on a second. This has a built-in decoupler, which is not something that we want. We don't want to bring in a built-in decoupler. Can we disable that? No, we cannot. Okay. We're gonna have to remember not to use that last part. So we're gonna move the staging around, and then we're gonna get a bunch of parachutes. Let's bring these ones. I think these are better than the... We're gonna put them here. I'm gonna get 3 of them again. Yeah, and that should cover the 1, 2, 3 spaces. And that's gonna be our return. And then we can always decouple after the parachutes have gone. We just can't... Just have to give them just one little escape. Just in case I really mess up. We're bringing an MK16, which hopefully will be enough to carry this one because it's a lot of weight. I'm gonna bring some flags because you know, I think the flag is showing here, but it's not like the most amazing spot. Let's put some flags here, and then let's change this to a nice black color, and let's see if we can change. We cannot change the Moonlander one. That's okay. I'm gonna change this also to a darker black color. No, does not wanna. Doesn't really make a difference. Not like the outside one. Yeah, we'll make it orange. And can we change this to a different color? No, we cannot. So here we go. This is our lander. That's a big one. And then we're gonna need a heat shield for when we come back. So let's take a big one. Doesn't cover a lot. Oh, and we're missing an essential part as well, which is that Science Junior. Not the Science Junior, but the Science Storage Unit. Which, do we need now that we're bringing a scientist along? Because if my memory serves me right, the scientist can reset these experiments. So that we don't need 3, which makes our ship a lot smaller. And we don't need this one. You know what? We'll test that out. We'll take it just in case. Because I like to look at this thing. This thing looks ready to go. Not really ready to go yet, but I mean, it looks good. It looks good. It looks good. So, okay, let's get some decouplers going. Let's create the stage that's going to take us to Mimus, which is going to be, again, the racing one. And I think the best course for that is the Terrier engine. And then we're going to take the another decoupler with us. Where's that decoupler? Boom, 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 boom. I'm taking a huge risk because if we crash and we fail, everyone's perished. So this has to work, because if it doesn't work, there won't be any more astronauts left. So we're taking a big risk on this one. Should we be doing it like this? I mean, we're supposed to go to Mimus with this idea of learning, but we're just taking a massive, massive gamble on doing this as a group project because it's fun. But because it's fun, we're doing it. We also need to take batteries with us. Totally forgot about that. So let's just place some batteries here. We'll do 4 of them. Like so. We'll place them there. And then we're going to take... I thought we had... No, we don't. We don't have solar panels. Oh boy. We haven't thought this through very well. Let's triangulate some of this stuff. It's fine. You know what? If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. We'll just figure it out from there. It's fine. Okay, what does this tank do? Rockomax. That's a big one. Okay. Let's take a skinny one, and let's take another skinny one. I think that really worked quite well, although, considering the stuff that we have, did we not have an adapter now that... These are fuel tank adapters. No, that's too small. I was worried about that. What is this? That works. Is that not too tall? Because then what we could do is we can start using these ones. That will allow us to use like the really powerful engine, at least the one that we had previously built. Not built, researched. And that would be not the poodle. Let's see the... Where do we see that? Oh yeah, the thrust. So in a vacuum, this one's 250. This one's 400. Holy crap. But we're not in a vacuum. Oh, and this one in the atmosphere, the ASL, I'm assuming that's the atmosphere, is nearly as good as it is in a vacuum. So that's really good. But it's probably going to be like, just going to plow through the fuel like there is no fuel at all. And then what about this? This one's even more powerful, the Skipper. So, and there's 3 variants available. I'm assuming that's just the color. What is this? A FM Might Solid Fuel Booster? What does that do? How much thrust do we get out of that? Not much in a vacuum, and also not very much in in anything. What are we gonna use this for? Okay, maybe another mission. Let's use the Skipper. The Skipper seems the most powerful out of the... Oh, but the Skipper's too big. That's too big. It's the Bobcat. The Bobcat fits here. Okay, we're gonna have to use the Bobcat because the Skipper is too big. So I guess the Skipper is used for even bigger... Do we have bigger fuel tanks? Jeebus. These ones look a lot bigger. Holy moly. Let's see what the Skipper does on these ones. Even the Skipper is not big enough for the... Oh, wow. Okay, well, I'm assuming maybe there are bigger fuel tanks out there. Regardless, we're going to go like this. And I think we could still do some more stuff. Let's just check the staging real quick. We've got this engine, and this one detaches, which is up here. Then we've got that engine that needs to have its own separation spot, and then we want to have a detachment, which is this one. Then launches the rest of those three, and then we've got those three that go off, and then the parachutes, and then the other detachment and the last parachute. Okay, so that I think looks good. I do think what would be good to have is some. Let's line them up with the other three up there. So that is down this way, which is not. Doesn't feel very centered. For whatever reason, this is how we're doing it. And then let's see if we can use some of these new boosters. This is, wow, look at the thrust that this one provides. That's going to get us up in the air. This one a little bit less. This one's really powerful. These are huge. OMGs. It's going to take us straight to Minmus. We don't need this complicated staging stuff. Look at this. It's bigger than the rocket that I already created. Oh my god. This might be overkill. Oh, and also, it's too heavy for what we are capable of doing. So, as great as that is, let's go with the smaller ones. They're just skinnier rather than big. Let's see if this will actually fit, because if this also puts us overweight, then yeah, we're gonna have to. It does not. So. Perfectly still in line. So I think this is good. I think this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna put some cones on these ones as well, and yeah, we're gonna basically go. I think what we can do is probably just use the boosters just as a initial launch, and then we go with this one. It's gonna take us up into orbit. You know, this is supposed to take us to what is it? Minmus. And then this is gonna land us on Minmus, where the fuel lines. That's a good one. We need to think about that too. So we basically, what we want to do is that we want these fuel lines basically empty out the middle one first, and then oh no, that's going wrong because that's not going into any fuel line. So we want the middle one first, so that empties out into these ones, and these ones are the last ones that remain. That's basically what we want to do, because we've got why is this not as one engine? 1, 2. This is strange. Confused. 1, 2, 3. Ah, okay, I got it. Not confused anymore. Okay, so the idea is we got these massive boosters. Those are going to get us up into curb and atmosphere. We'll see how far and where that actually takes us. Ooh, we got some nice winglets that we can place. So let's put some stability on those, and let's put some stability on these. See what that does. I wonder if this is a good idea or not, but. If anything, everything about this particular spaceship is just a terrible idea. I mean, look at this. It's just a terrible idea. You know, we're gonna do a group project, and we're gonna go to Minmus, and we're gonna risk the lives of all of our astronauts, even though we are a budget space program. Because what could possibly go wrong again? Yeah, so I think we're good. We got batteries, we got communication, we got our science. We're not bringing any cargo. We're not taking fireworks. I think that's really going to be overkill if we do that. We shouldn't be that confident in our abilities at this stage. What does that do? Engineering plate? Oh, interesting. Okay, we'll figure out what that does later on. Ooh, struts. Yes, we want struts. Because it does look wobbly. I have to admit, that's kind of where my mind was going at first, is that I feel like this stage here needs to connect with the upper stages of our spaceship. Like maybe like so, well, I don't know about like that, but maybe definitely, will people still be able to get out? I don't know if they can. So let's put it like this. So at least at this stage, it's kind of a bit more rigid with that. And I also feel like maybe we want to strut it to one another like this, just so that they're a bit more stable. Oh, and let's boost ourselves up a little bit higher in the sky, right? Can we do that? Yeah, we can. That's gonna give us some extra height before we actually launch. So that's good. So we got some struts going on. Maybe we want to attach these ones as well to the main ship like this, just to create that like rigid stability. Let me just zoom out because this thing is absolutely gigantic. You would think with this kind of a spaceship we are going to Elo, but we're not. We're going to Mimbus. Okay, so double check. We got everything. Do we need any command controls? We don't really have any RCS built into this. That could be something that we do later. This inline stabilizer module containing a larger, heavier array reaction wheel. I do think we want to include this somewhere. Maybe perhaps put that here. And that's going to give us some more maneuverability, I believe, up in space. Hey, I think we got the rocket. I think we built a good one. So onwards we go. Right? I think we're good. Everyone's aboard? No, they're not. So that was definitely a missing. So yeah, let's put them like this. I believe our controls are coming from there. And they're basically just passengers. Alright, let's save it, because now we've got our Mimbus 3. And let's go. Let's go to space. Let's go to Mimbus. See if there's something to do. Just taking a little sip of my water. Look at that glorious rocket. The Mimbus 3. Ready for launch on a glorious Kerbin summer day, as you can see. It's just so pretty out here. So pretty, so pretty. And it's nice that, you know, I'm actually like rotating around our budget space program, and there's no debris, which is amazing. Let's see. So this is the inside of one of our Kerbins. I believe this is what's his name? Jebediah in the MK Lander. So he's going to be the one that is going to be, yeah, he's going to have a hot time here because he's going to be able to watch the engine. Here we are on the outside. So I'm wondering, why is it all weird like this now? What did I do? Let's view from inside this space. So this is the little trap box with, is that a window? And that's also a window. Can't really see much more around there. Valentina seems to be in her own spot. Oh, there's Bill as well. So we could see, yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see them. You can't. That's okay. Valentina's here, sitting very cozy behind Bob and Bill. The identical haircuts. I mean, they are twins after all. So, you know, and identical twins at that. So that's why they look like that. Their KSP badge. And yeah, just in case the fire breaks out, we got a fire extinguisher. And there's a lever right there in the middle. You can see that. So this is basically the abort mission lever, in case things go horribly wrong. And if they press on this little button, they can talk to Jebediah to tell Jebediah abort mission. So everything's good. Everything looks good. I think we're ready for a beautiful launch. Let's put on SAS. Let's up our thruster. We're gonna detach the landing, whatever these things are called, these cranes that are holding up our place. We're just gonna double check our do we have a, what is this? Why is this detaching at the same time? That should not be happening. See, we already have a problem in our staging. So I need to fix the staging because they're this one, hang on, where are we here? It should highlight it, right? Yeah, so that one detaches after, no, see, this is a problem. This one detaches and this one is supposed to go out. No, that's going to cause an explosion. We don't want that. So this one needs to be up here. This one, oh my gosh. So no, that's also wrong. So it should be like so. I'm making this very complicated. Okay, let's go back. So this one launches. This one detaches. So these ones should go at the same time, right? Because we're going to go launch with those 3. Then we're going to launch with the main one. Then it detaches the 3 on the outside. And then we wait. And then it detaches this one. And then this one goes. And then it detaches that. And then that one goes. And then it detaches from there. And then the parachutes. And then it's the detaching thing that we didn't want to detach. But just in case we do detach that by accident, at least they have a parachute. No, at that point, hopefully we're in space. Okay, so this makes me nervous because I don't know about the staging. I don't feel like we planned it out perfectly. But yeah, why not? Let's just go. 3, 2, 1, and fire! Look at that glorious rocket. Already going at insane amount of speeds. These rockets are unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. We didn't look at the actual cost of our spaceship, but what we do know is that the space source that we did put into this was definitely good, because our apoapsis is already certainly going up, and we're actually going to supersonic mode. As you can see, the air around the spaceship is getting disturbed, so we're gonna start to already point into a direction. And what's good about this spaceship, because it's probably because of the struts. Is it's quite, I want to say, quite sturdy. It's not the best in terms of like navigation or direction or control. What is going on with the cameras? Okay, let's detach those, and we go. That's a good detachment, and we are going to stick to 45 degrees. We're going to check our periapsis, and we're going to try and hold the ship into position, which is kind of happening. Alright, let's get back to 45 degrees, and we're going to watch our periapsis, because our apoapsis, it's at 60,000, which is good. It means we're not in space yet, but I think we can already start to increase the sideways speed at this point, because we are at 70k apoapsis, which means that, you know, our spaceship is at least going to space. I think it was a pretty good launch. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think we did it was quite sturdy. There were no like massive, like, I know those things are heading down as if they're going into our space station, our budget space station. But we'll see when we come back if it's still there, because there's nobody there basically to report on any of the issues, because Bob, Bill, Valentina, and Jebediah are all on this mission. But I'm going to cut the engine at this point, because I see that the fuel's already at around half, and then we're going to start to burn again at around the 80,000 apoapsis, just so that we can save some of the fuel in this engine and just be a bit more efficient in the way that we're going to circularize around Kerbin. So yeah, we just basically wait for the jingle to start, which is in 3, 2, 1, and it's there. We're in space, everybody. Let's go. All right. Let's see if we can actually see. The line looks different now. I'm pretty sure we can make a maneuver node. Yes, we can. We can add a maneuver, so that's good. So we're gonna see how much we need to basically circularize around Kerbin. We can take that time now because we're not at the apoapsis just yet. And we're gonna check the periapsis. Yeah, that's 20. It's gonna be something like this. Yeah, a little bit more. And hopefully that's gonna tell us how many seconds we need to basically burn to get to that point. And now we can also see that on the nav ball there's a marker there for us to kind of aim at. And on the right side here next to the nav ball we see, and it's not really that clear. Okay, we can say the burn time is 1 minute and 5 seconds. Okay, that's still a lot of burn. Yeah, that means that this fuel tank is not gonna actually help us circularize. But you never know. Could be wrong. I don't think I would be wrong. I mean, come on, we're already going at such an amazing speed. Does this just lose all of its speed once we're in space? Is that what's going on here? Let's check our map view. Yeah, I mean, it's still circularizing. Is it because we're as heavy as we are? Oh, we're actually losing altitude now, so that's not good. So let's point up a little bit more. So it says just about 30 odd seconds. Burn time 30 odd seconds now because I changed the direction. It's going to take longer. Okay. Well, a bit more burn is required. Started this a little bit late, probably. The periapsis is still in the minus. We're just gonna ditch it anyways. Once the fuel's empty, and we're gonna launch the very nice Terrier. And the Terrier engine should help us circularize. And I think we're gonna look at this section over here and see once we're at around 70k. We are now in space. Come on, and exit the engine. Because I think the rest of the fuel will need to actually get to Mimbus. So we've now created a nice little orbit around Kerbin. So we're gonna take a crew report from the very top station, and then nothing to report because we already done this, of course. But just this is the first time that our beautiful our Kerbinauts are up in space. So very happy about that. And that's good. So there's the Mun. We're not gonna go there this time. We're actually gonna go and we're gonna cancel this one. There we go. We are going to plan on going to Mimbus. So we're going to set that as a target, which doesn't really help me because now it just creates a yellow line around it. I already knew that we were going to go there, but that's fine. Don't know what this line means, but I'm assuming that that's, I guess, the point of, I want to say, is that the point of, no, it's not, because that's a little bit, maybe that's where we expect the descending node. That's where we expect the how do you say that? The encounter to take place in. So let's just try this. Let's see what happens when we get closer and closer and closer. It's a relatively see that? Something happened there. Release it. Whoa. Okay, that brings us into a Mun encounter, which I don't think we want. Here we go. Look at that. This is good. 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 So what's the so periapsis there is 70,000, 700,000. So if we increase it just by a tad bit, whoa, what does that do with our periapsis? So now we're at 67,000 in the periapsis. We increase it just a tiny bit more. What does that do? 160, so that's not good. Oh, no, that's too much. All right, so let's go. Oh, that was nice what I just did there. I felt very controlled. Okay. I wish I could actually see what the periapsis would be as I'm moving this rather than having to do it manually. It's very difficult to see. This periapsis 400. I want to get like pretty low because I know that we can. 50, 150. Whoa. Okay. What does that do? A Mimbus periapsis of 187 meters. I don't think we can get any closer than that. It's not ideal. Because it's basically, you're crashing. So we don't want that either, because that's gonna have to, no, that's basically us crashing into the Mimbus. That's not what we want. So let's take this back just a tiny bit. What does this do? So now we are in a where can I not read the periapsis now? Come on, give me the periapsis. Okay, maybe there's no periapsis because now we've definitely crashed. Oh, that's too much again. What? This thing is so fidgety. Apoapsis. OMG, this is very finicky. If we go like this, so here we see the periapsis. Mimbus encounter. Periapsis, 100k. Here you have an apoapsis, so that's not good. We want that to be probably a bit closer to one another. That's 40. Is that 40? That's 40. That's a lot. Periapsis. Okay, let's just do this very, very slowly. It increases it. So how do we get it? We had it so well last time. That I don't think is good at all. That looks like we're going to crash into it. Periapsis, 82,000. I think that's That's nice. I know the apoapsis isn't perfect, but the periapsis is 82,000, which is basically, I would want to think, I think that's decent. And that requires a 2-minute burn with this engine. Where's our spaceship? Where'd it go? Where is it? Where's my spaceship? There it is! Haha! You thought you could hide, but no. Okay, so that's gonna take us basically what we've got here. Oh, this is interesting. So the target, I guess this is a target. Okay, so we need to be on this blue thing because I believe that's the target that we also did for the Kerbin orbit. And yeah, the next part is basically a burn, which is going to be in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So with that being said, thank you for watching this episode and see you at the next one. Bye-bye.